Okay, I'm really excited to talk about the self fulfilling prophecy that I have decided to do my project on, and because it's something that I found very interesting out of all the theories that we have been talking about in class, and as we've read in the textbook, I found self fulfilling prophecy very relevant to my life, and I was excited to kind of talk more about it. So, what is self fulfilling prophecy? Um, self fulfilling prophecy, as in the textbook, it says a prediction about yourself causing you to behave in such a way that it comes true. I decided to also look this up on Google, and Google usually comes up with a Wikipedia definition, which is socio-psychological phenomenon of someone predicting or expecting something, and this prediction or expectation comes true simply because one believes it and will, and their resulting behaviors align to fulfill those beliefs. This suggests people's beliefs influence their actions, meaning that the the things that we predict for ourselves, or as I like to say, create kind of a vision for ourselves or expectations for ourselves, to where we want to be or want to become, is kind of that self-fulfilling prophecy, something that we want in life, and so we are going to expect that from ourselves, and we're going to essentially make that happen. A lot of things that I kind of want to focus on today as well, or in this project, was because as I was thinking of this self-fulfilling prophecy, I think of why so many people feel as though they cannot have this anymore. And I felt that social media plays a very big role in diminishing what we truly can fulfill as an individual, and the expectations that we have for ourselves as well. I feel we that is diminished because of the things that we see on social media. Or also, I'd like to bring in another, I guess, theory or effect, as it's called, the Pygmalion effect. And I like to, as we were able to do a assignment on both of these theories, I thought it was really relevant to explain both of these theories, because they bring out a factor within each other, and they are able to help explain more how social media can affect our sense of self, and that self-fulfilling prophecy that we each individuals should have. But the Pygmalion effect, as it says in the textbook, living up to or down to another's expectations of us. Again, I decided to look this up on Google, which comes up with Wikipedia reference. It says phenomenon whereby others' expectations of a target person affect the target person's performance. I find this very relevant because we are constantly, looking at social media and seeing these expectations, and it could be some of them we can generalize them and think that they are towards us. And so I kind of already explained how these two theories relate, but they have to do with our sense of self and confidence, and believing what we can achieve compared to what others believe about us, and either letting what others believe about us bring us down or bring us up, depending on their outlook, their expectations of us. And I'll kind of go into a couple more examples of that. So with I wanted to there's an article that talked about social media and the self-fulfilling prophecy by Courtney Ackerman. I thought it was really interesting how she actually talked about money and how she says when people believe that a piece of paper has its own value, it becomes money. When people believe that a price of a house will increase, they create the speculative demand in a housing market and bubbles emerge. So it truly is with not just ourselves, but so many other things, not just the way we look at ourselves, but I mean, as this says, money. We perceive a piece of paper to actually have worth. And we should always feel as though ourselves have worth, but the fact that most of us, can think that paper has more money than ourselves is very depressing and sad. But it goes on to share that social media can also play a positive effect and can help us believe positive things about ourselves. And I wanted to share this. It was shared on an article. I didn't necessarily recreate it. I took exactly what it showed and just kind of put it so where we can see it better. But this kind of cycle of self-fulfilling prophecy I thought was very interesting because it does bring in others' beliefs, which when I think of self-fulfilling prophecy, I don't necessarily think of what others believe in us, but mainly about what we believe in ourselves or what we prophesy what we can do. But I feel like this brings in the Pygmalion effect into the sense that it shares what others believe about us. So it talks. As we can see, this little cycle of our beliefs and believing what we believe about ourselves, and then our actions towards ourselves, but towards others, as it shares both of those, towards others and towards us. So, and that has influence and impact. And so I thought that was very interesting and something that we can definitely relate to. But here are some more examples that I thought were very interesting with self-fulfilling prophecy, is that talks about the gay rights movement in India, which I didn't know about, but as I was looking at, there was an article written by Sudeshna Mahata. I totally butchered that, but it was interesting and gave quite a few examples, and these are two that really stuck out to me. But the gay rights movement in India, with the access of internet at total acceptances, movements in gay marriage legalization in other countries spread. The belief system in India evolved to accept a cultural change which was previously considered a crime, which is a huge, we know that today in our society, and that it has changed drastically within a couple of years. That is mainly because of social media, and there have been movements beyond movements on social media social media has helped us to market these movements so that people can come and to stand up for what they believe. And it's not only with these gay right movements, but with so many other things as well. That was just one example, but how social media can help us fulfill something. People want something, and so they have a vision, they have a desire to make it happen, and so that's what they do. They go out and they make it happen, and social media has helped with that. As well as this feminist movement, as empowerment of women can to the forefront, and many influential figures and garnered their support, the professional world has seen a drastic improvement in women taking up more leadership roles. And this is for sure true, as I've seen within my own life and recognized it within others. As we've come together as women, feminists have been more empowered, and women have been more empowered, have come together through social media, through so many different aspects, as individuals especially. People have not been afraid to become themselves, be themselves. And so social media has been a played a very good part in all of the feminist movements. And I wanted to talk a little bit about this Pygmalion effect with a high school student, which I think is so important because I believe that teachers play a huge role in the child's success, especially at a high school age. I found it within myself. I see it today, and I see it with my siblings as well. And I saw it within myself in high school. Is if I have a teacher, a professor, someone who believes in me, a coach, I want to meet their expectations, but I don't want their expectations to be ridiculous to the point where I don't feel like I can fulfill what they are expecting of me. But I need them to actually believe in me. And if they give me an assignment and I do bad on it the first time, and I get, you know, I don't get criticism on how I can make it better, but I get criticism on how it's bad, that never gives me motivation to do better. And so they've done studies with this, showing that it truly is a huge difference, and it can help students who have really good teachers and professors who are truly going to have those high expectations of them, but not bring them down. Help them live up to the expectations instead of thinking that they're unrealistic. Sorry. And this last quote I just wanted to share because I feel like it related, and I feel like I'm passionate about it. It says the law of self-fulfilling prophecy says that you can get what you expect. So why not create great expectations and the highest vision possible for yourself and your world? This was in an article, in one of the visual aspects of an article that I um, that I was reading about self-fulfilling prophecy. And it's so true, that we have great expectations as human beings, especially as we are going into, as this world keeps evolving and there's more and more coming into the world, in the sense of knowing oneself and creating something for yourself. There is a lot more people in different expectations in different worlds that, maybe they would not expect. But this quote, I feel like we need to all have that motivation, have those great expectations of ourselves, so that we can accomplish what we need in this world, so that we can truly create something great for ourselves, because it is about having joy and success in this life, and finding who we are and what we want. And I really enjoyed creating this and thinking about this self-fulfilling prophecy, and how I can relate it to my life and how I've seen it in others, and seeing it in media and social media, and how I can not let social media get me down, but I can continue to see social media as a good thing, and coming together as a community to create things. And instead of letting people get me down, as the Pygmalion effect can be either living up to expectations or down to another's expectations, I can truly think of it as a positive thing. But thank you so much for listening, and I hope you enjoyed. So have a good night.